What if everything you've been taught about wealth is wrong? What if the secret to unstoppable success isn't about splurging, investing in the next big thing, or playing it risky? What if it's hiding in the simplest, most overlooked part of your life? The choices you make every single day and how you live. Jeff Bezos, the richest man on earth, may have cracked this code. But here's the catch. He didn't get there by doing what everyone else did. What if the very thing that's holding you back from the life you dream of is something you've been doing all along, without even realizing it? Imagine living with less, intentionally choosing to keep things small, while the world around you is obsessed with bigger, faster, more. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Yet, beneath that quiet life, lies a power so potent that it transforms the very fabric of your reality. This is the paradox Jeff Bezos understood long before his billions. But why does this choice, living below your means, hold the key to creating wealth that's not just fast but unstoppable? What if this simple, almost painfully humble choice is the master key to the kind of success others only dream about? We've been told that greatness requires grand gestures, relentless ambition, and endless hustle. But what if that's a lie? What if the richest people aren't those who spend the most, but those who've mastered the art of not spending? What if wealth doesn't live in the numbers on a bank statement, but in the way you control your desires, your habits, and your everyday choices? As you listen, feel the weight of this contradiction sink in. The less you take, the more you gain. But how? And why is this so elusive for most people? Behind Bezos's empire lies an unseen force, one that most never even think to question. It's not about the flashy moves, the high-profile risks, or the bravado. It's about a quiet power that grows in the shadows of self-discipline. But there's something deeper here, something almost too simple to believe. What is it about this quiet, deliberate lifestyle that triggers a cascade of wealth, success, and influence? What are we missing? And how can this secret transform your life too? You're about to discover that the path to wealth isn't what you think it is. It's not about working harder or chasing after every opportunity. It's about understanding a fundamental truth that few ever learn. And once you uncover it, nothing will ever look the same again. So stay with me, because the answer is right here, hidden in plain sight. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. What are you really afraid of? Not scarcity. That's just a word game, a concept they taught us to keep the system running. What you fear is the invisible pain of not being enough, of never achieving, of getting caught in the web of wanting, possessing, accumulating. Each unfulfilled desire echoes like a crack in your soul, and you never ask, what's really behind all of this? Why does your heart race when the promise of more wealth, more power, more control comes close, as if you aren't whole without it? But what if you realize that all this fear, this relentless pursuit, is the real prison? Jeff Bezos isn't afraid of it. He understood that true freedom isn't about what you can do, but what you choose not to do. What if living below your means was, in fact, an act of courage? Not a matter of sacrifice, but a powerful revelation. By letting go of excess, you create space for what truly matters. Maybe in the endless chase for more, you've lost what would actually complete you. The world tells you it's all about accumulating, that you need to be big to be remembered. But what happens when you choose to be small and still conquer the world? That's the secret few dare to look in the eye. It's not about what you lose, but about what you gain by letting go. The weight of life is what you carry, not what you leave behind. But who's ready to leave it? Everything inside of you screams to follow the flow, to keep playing the game. You've been taught to compete, to fight for what's yours. But what if true strength lies in stillness, in controlling what you don't touch? Jeff Bezos didn't reach his fortune by chasing wealth, but by avoiding its weight. Can you hear that? It's not a mistake, it's not an accident. He understood something few realized. True abundance doesn't lie in how much you can consume, but in how free you can remain. And once you understand this, you are in control. It's easy to get lost in the idea that to have more, you must want more. You've gotten used to this obsession. But what if true greatness isn't in what you have, but in what you choose to leave behind? The truth is, you already have everything you need. You just haven't realized it yet. Jeff Bezos built an empire not by accumulating, but by refining, by simplifying. He didn't pile things up, he filtered what mattered. And the world, unaware, was looking at a man who understood the secret equation of wealth. The question is, do you have the courage to discover what it means to live below your means and then be truly free? But there's a shadow looming over this, isn't there? That uncomfortable feeling that if you stop fighting, if you calm down, the world will run over you. The fear of being left behind, of not being enough. That's what keeps you running. But here's the most unsettling part. What you don't realize is that this race is what's keeping you from getting what you want most. Because deep down, we all know, what you're searching for isn't out there. It's inside you in the quiet of choice. And by not choosing, you've already made your choice. The world keeps telling you that more is the answer, that the next purchase, the next deal, the next promotion will be the thing that makes you feel whole. But the truth is, each time you reach for more, you are stretching out, away from yourself. You've been trained to chase, to hunger, to fill the gaps, but you've never been taught to sit with the emptiness, to understand it. But what if the emptiness is the answer? What if that feeling of lack, that gnawing hunger, is actually the signal that you've been looking in the wrong direction all along? You've been taught that success is a straight line, bigger, faster, more. But what if success is actually the courage to walk in the opposite direction, to retreat from the noise, to remove the clutter? Jeff Bezos understood something deeper, something uncomfortable, that wealth isn't built by accumulating. It's built by learning to master the space between the things. And that space is where your real power lies. It's in the choice to not reach for the shiny object, to not feed the insatiable hunger. In that silence, in that refusal, there is strength. But who is willing to face that silence long enough to hear the truth? You might be feeling it now, the unease, the discomfort of not knowing what's next, of not chasing after something. But the reality is, you've never truly been alone with yourself, have you? You've always been distracted, always running, always filling that void with something. But when you stop running, when you finally sit in the quiet, you confront your deepest fear, that without the chase, without the noise, who are you? And it's in that very moment, when you choose to live below your means, to remove the distractions, that you will begin to hear the whispers of your true self, the self that has been buried under layers of false desires. Jeff Bezos didn't get where he is by fighting for attention, by seeking the validation of the world. He understood that the true measure of wealth isn't in what the world sees. It's in the ability to say no, to decline the call of excess, to live with less and yet be more than anyone else could ever imagine. And in that rejection of the world's demands, he found the keys to his kingdom. What is it, though, that makes this so difficult for you? Why does the world's version of success keep pulling you back into the noise, the chaos, the frenzy? At the core of all of this, there's a simple truth that's hard to face. The more you chase, the more you lose. The more you take, the more you give up. What if the things you think you need are the very things that are chaining you? What if the freedom you crave is not out there, but within you, in the stillness of choosing less? There's a power in knowing when to stop. A power that can't be bought, a power that comes from within. And as you start to grasp this truth, something will begin to shift. You won't have all the answers right away, but you will begin to see the world differently. And in that moment, you'll realize that the most powerful choice you can make is not to take more, but to take less. There is something intoxicating about the idea of endless growth, isn't there? The allure of reaching higher, of conquering more, of proving that you're worthy by what you own, by how much you have. But as the world whispers this in your ear, there is an undeniable truth lurking beneath it all. Every step forward, every expansion, creates an ever-growing hunger that will never be satisfied. The more you get, the less you feel whole. And what if the only way to truly feel whole is to stop feeding the beast? What if wealth isn't about the size of your bank account, but about the size of your soul? Your ability to remain grounded in the midst of the storm, to say no when the world demands yes? You've been caught in the race for so long, you've forgotten what it means to be still, to embrace the silence between desires. But in that silence, there is a secret, a whisper that cuts through the noise of everything you thought you knew. It's the understanding that true power doesn't lie in the things you collect, but in the things you walk away from. Jeff Bezos mastered this. He knew that abundance doesn't come from grabbing every opportunity, but from knowing which ones to let go. And when you finally face this, the world will look at you differently. But it's not the world's gaze that matters, is it? It's the gaze you turn inward, the one that acknowledges a deeper truth than any external measure of success. You are standing at the crossroads now, aren't you? One path leads to the same cycle. More, more, more. It promises comfort, validation, fleeting moments of satisfaction. But behind each fleeting victory, there's an insidious emptiness that grows with each conquest. The other path? It's quieter, it's less flashy, more humbling, but it holds the key to a wealth so profound, so deeply transformative, that it can't be measured by any number or possession. It's the wealth of choice, of living below your means, of mastering yourself rather than your surroundings. What would it feel like to finally say no to the world and yes to your own quiet power? It's not an easy path, is it? There's a voice inside you, urging you to keep up, to hustle, to fight for what's yours. But another voice, the one that's been drowned out for so long, is beginning to rise, slowly but surely. It's the voice that reminds you that you're enough without the things, without the labels, without the constant pursuit of more. And what if, just for a moment, you listened to it? What if you chose to live in the space between the things you thought you wanted and the things that actually matter? In that space, you will discover a power so quiet, so profound, that it will change everything. But it won't be easy. The world will continue to tell you that you're not enough. But here, in this stillness, you will realize that you are everything. You're beginning to understand, aren't you? That the very things you've been running from are the things that will free you. That true wealth, the kind that sustains you in ways no amount of money can, is found not in the endless accumulation, but in the space where you stop, where you breathe, where you say enough. It's in that moment that you will discover who you truly are, but it requires letting go of the pursuit, the need for more. And when you do, you'll realize something profound. The wealth you seek was never outside of you. It was inside, waiting for you to make the choice to live below your means, to claim the freedom that only simplicity can offer. The world around you is relentless, isn't it? A constant barrage of noise, of distractions, of people telling you what you need, what you should want, what defines your worth. But beneath it all, there's a question you've been avoiding for far too long. What if none of this is true? What if you've been living a lie, believing that more is better, that success is measured by how much you acquire? What if all the promises of fulfillment and happiness are just smoke and mirrors, distractions keeping you from the one thing that could truly set you free? In this moment, you are standing at the precipice, staring into the unknown. What will you choose? It's terrifying, isn't it? To think that everything you've been striving for could be a trap, a never-ending loop of desire that only deepens your sense of emptiness. You've been told that to achieve greatness, you must rise above, you must accumulate, you must conquer. But Jeff Bezos saw the trap. He saw that it wasn't about conquering the world, but about conquering himself. The real power isn't in the fight, it's in the surrender. It's in the decision to stop the chase, to stop seeking external validation. It's in the quiet, in the space between the noise, that true strength is found. And here, you stand at the edge, wondering if you can take that first step into the unknown. What happens when you let go? When you stop trying to keep up with the world's definition of success and start embracing your own? The world will tell you you're weak, that you're falling behind. But in reality, you're stepping into a power they can never understand. You are choosing freedom. And freedom is a different kind of wealth. It's the kind of wealth that doesn't fade, that doesn't require more and more. It's the kind that grows from within, that remains steady in the face of everything else. And when you realize this, something inside of you shifts. A new world begins to unfold before you, one where you are not defined by what you own, but by what you are willing to let go of. The truth is, we've been taught to fear simplicity. We've been taught to fear not having, not consuming, not chasing. But simplicity holds a power so vast, so quietly revolutionary, that it can change everything. When you choose to live below your means, you choose to live above the noise. You choose to create space for what matters most, your time, your peace, your true self. And as you make this choice, as you stop running, you'll begin to see the world differently. You'll begin to see that all the things you thought you wanted were just distractions from the only thing that truly matters, the quiet power of being whole within yourself. This is the moment of transformation, the moment where you choose not to be defined by the world's measure of success but by your own, the moment where you stop chasing, stop seeking, and start living. And in that moment, everything changes. What you thought you knew about wealth, about success, about happiness, it all starts to unravel. But as it unravels, something beautiful happens. You begin to find yourself. You begin to find the power that has always been within you, waiting for you to choose it. And when you do, the world will never look the same. Because in choosing to live below your means, you are choosing to live above all else. And in that choice lies the greatest wealth of all. And now, as you stand on the edge of this truth, what remains? A lingering whisper, a sensation that hasn't fully settled. It's like the quiet after a storm, a stillness that carries within it the power of everything that has just unfolded. You thought you were searching for more, but now, in this moment of reflection, you begin to see the cost of that chase. You begin to feel the weight of it in your bones, the emptiness that only deepens with each new desire. What if everything you thought was a loss was actually a gain, an opening into something far greater than any possession could ever give you? The world will keep moving, urging you to run, to compete, to acquire. But in this stillness, in the space you've carved out by letting go, there's a quiet strength that cannot be bought. You can't see it, not yet, but you can feel it, deep within. It's a realization that's waiting, just below the surface. And when you're ready to embrace it, you will know that everything you've ever needed was never outside of you. It was always in your hands, in your choices, in your power to say no to the noise and yes to the silence. You've heard the truth now, the quiet hum of a life lived with intention, with simplicity, with purpose. And in that hum, something stirs, not with urgency, but with calm. The tension, the chaos, the relentless pursuit of more has been replaced by a peace that feels for the first time like true wealth. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's not what the world has taught you to seek, but it's real, it's lasting, and it's yours, if you can feel it, if you can live it. As you walk away from this, let this echo linger. Let it become part of you, like a memory you can't quite shake, a thought that surfaces when you least expect it. In those moments of stillness, of quiet, when the noise of the world starts to creep back in, remember this. The choice to live below your means is not a sacrifice. It's a declaration of freedom. It's the power to choose less and receive more peace, more clarity, more of who you truly are. This is not the end. This is the beginning of something far more significant. If this resonates with you, if you feel something shifting inside, then I invite you to carry this forward, to share this awakening, to invite others into the quiet revolution that lives below the surface. Like, comment, and share, not out of obligation, but because something inside of you recognizes that this message is too important to keep hidden. And if you're ready, subscribe, not just to this channel, but to the journey of transformation that lies ahead, where the true wealth is in what you choose to leave behind.